Hello, this is Richard Wilson. I'm CEO and founder of the Wilson Holding Company. I just wanted to share my story, kind of the creation story of Wilson Holding Company and how I got into family offices. Now, first off, I am a second generation professional in the capital raising, fundraising area. My dad's raised over $1 billion for nonprofit charitable organizations, generally hospitals and large universities. So focusing in that area, but he's working with nonprofit donors, very wealthy families, Fortune 500 founders and CEOs, etc., and getting them to donate money to a hospital or university that they have some attachment to or past giving history to. So I just want to get that out of the way. People often ask, if I come from money. I very much don't. Part of my motivation of growing my current business is growing up. I had started, 4 or 5 businesses by the time I was 12 years old. I had started a couple in high school, successful online business in college that I then sold to other students when I graduated. And I remember very clearly not having enough money to even buy a cup of coffee at times in college, and being determined to work very hard when I got the opportunity to grow something and really sink my teeth into it, not let an opportunity go by. So after college, I got a job as a risk consultant. I was mapping risk controls for a publicly traded company, multiple publicly traded companies on the West Coast, and basically looking at their accounting procedures and how financials flow through the organization and identifying the most high-risk areas where capital was being flown through their organization. And then while doing that, I basically paid for my MBA. It wasn't my passion area. It was accounting, risk consulting. It wasn't the most exciting thing in the world for me, but my strengths were. So I paid for my MBA. I learned a lot about risk management. Then I went on to work in capital markets by working as a placement agent in Boston. And there I raised capital for a $24 billion portfolio optimization shop with a long track record, obviously, $800 million fund to fund, an $8 million hedge fund, $30 million set of separate managed account SMA portfolios. And I learned a ton about raising capital, working with investors, what all the different types of investors were. And I also focused a lot on raising capital from wealth management firms and registered investment advisors. And one thing I found, which didn't make any sense to me, was that at the top of the pyramid of wealth management firms are family offices. And family offices are accredited, their clients are accredited investors. They can invest in hedge funds, private equity funds, direct investments, co-investments, real estate, etc. And what I found was that when I tried to learn more about family offices, there's almost nothing available. It was one Bloomberg article, one Financial Times article, a $500 webinar that I couldn't afford to pay for, a $20,000 a year website membership program that I couldn't afford to pay for. I didn't know, what the benefit would be of joining, even if I did have the money. So what I decided was that I was going to share everything I was learning, because this was a national, global problem. There has to be other people like me that want to learn more about how to work with family offices, how they operate, how they like to be worked with, and just have a very hard time doing so. So every time I met with a family office, raised capital from one, read 5 different articles on one, I would cite my sources and write an article. I would anonymize a discussion I had with a family office, pull out some lessons from that, and share that on my website. And pretty soon, my website became very popular. It was just a part-time hobby, but it became so popular, in fact, I got on the front page of the Boston Globe. I got mentioned in the Financial Times, by Forbes. I was a regular columnist for a division of a lot of big editorial companies. And I got flown to 23 different countries and spoke 100 different times in 23 countries about family offices and raising capital and hedge funds, private equity, etc. And what happened was that at the beginning, it was fund managers and consultants wanting to access my knowledge of family offices because they wanted to work with families. But as I learned more and more and more, what happened was that the family offices were coming to me for help and insight. And while my initial motivation was to learn a lot about family offices, to raise capital from them, it soon became me realizing I could actually get direct access to family offices by giving them advice, showing them what their peers are doing, showing them a 10,000-foot view of the family office forest, and kind of giving them lessons. And all of a sudden, I had an audience, and I could get in front of the families, and I could show them a hedge fund manager I represented, a real estate deal, a private equity fund, etc. So that was the next evolution of everything, was really being able to get that audience with family offices. But soon, I'd met with over 1,000 family offices face-to-face, several hundred single-family offices, and it became obvious that I couldn't quite keep up with all of the, even just keeping track of the names and portfolio focuses of all these families. So we started diversifying our business to solve that problem. We have training programs on financetraining.com. We include a qualified family office professional training program, certified private equity professional, certified hedge fund professional, etc. to serve that bit of the market that needs just training. We started holding conferences, and today we hold 34 conferences in 12 different cities, including at the Raffles Hotel in Singapore, Harvard Club in New York, University Club of San Francisco, etc. We have, on top of our conferences, which family offices can attend for free and others can attend at an affordable price, we also offer data at familyofficedatabases.com. We offer, for the 7th year now, databases of family offices. So if you want to reach out to them and work with family offices, you can directly yourself. And then finally, instead of selling things to family offices and saying, what do you think of this fund manager? What do you think of this real estate fund? We got feedback from them that the thing that they don't have is too many people looking out for them to get excellent deal flow. Mostly in the direct co-investment area, a little bit in real estate, and a few of our clients are starting to open up our buy-side mandates to represent them to look at fund managers. But really, the change in the mindset was we could represent the investor and help allocate capital instead of selling things to the investor. And so while all of our experience is on the capital raising side, what we had done is built this big funnel. We had our websites getting well over 10,000 hits a day, as they do today. We have our different networking groups and communities that have 1.2 million members that we can send our newsletters to, articles, videos such as this one. And we just got massive deal flow and family office relationships, private equity fund relationships, etc., through that funnel. We've been able to position familyoffices.com as the #1 most popular website on family offices, privateequity.com is the #2 website on private equity, and now endowments.com is the #1 most visited website in the endowment fund industry, according to Alexa and ComScore and those big website tracking websites. From any objective measurement, we're #1, #2 in those areas. And so it's created this whole synergistic environment where we get a lot of deal flow and family office relationships. So to summarize, where we're at today is really representing investors on the buy side, listening to them very closely, taking many pages of notes on exactly what they want in their portfolio, and then we share our great breadth of deal flow with them, and we get paid as a investment banker when a deal closes that we introduce to them. So, for example, right now we're closing on a deal. We have a letter of intent to close on a deal in the next few months with one of our families, and it's a $20 million a year business with $5 million EBITDA. And business has been around for 30 years. The father, the owner, is over 70 years old, looking to retire, and one of our families wants to buy that business. So that's a perfect example of what we do and how our business has evolved. And we have our training division, financetraining.com, our data division, familyofficedatabases.com, our conference division, wilsonconferences.com, and then our investment banking work, representing investors and allocating from the investor perspective. And you can find more about that on billionairefamilyoffice.com. That's billionaire with a B. So this is Richard Wilson coming to you from Kuala Lumpur today. And thank you for joining me and listening to this creation story of how we got started and where we are today. And I hope we can do business with you soon. Take care.